Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to my channel. My name's Kira. Subscribe if you're new, and without further ado, let's get into today's video. So I am joined by Nonnah. Thank you so much for being here with me today. And today I wanted to talk about how we as women can use astrology to empower ourselves in the way we navigate through the world, in our relationships, and, specifically in our relationships with men and navigating that, because I recently have got this book. It's called The Only Astrology Book You'll Ever Need. It was lent to me by my friend Maury. Shout out Maury. And I've already had several epiphanies. Like literally yesterday, I've had this book for like less than 48 hours. Less than 48 hours. And yesterday, I just found myself like standing in my kitchen, like, you know that TikTok that's like, and it's realizing things. I just was like aghast, and just like things were just hitting me like tons of bricks. And I had like 3 of those yesterday. So I realized, A, these astrology bitches are onto something. B, you really do need to take a look at this shit in order to protect yourself properly. Otherwise, you will get taken advantage of, as I have. And so, here we are. And the first thing I wanted to use as an example for what gave me an epiphany. Okay, so this book, it has literally everything in it. It's got like all of these different uses, like in health and in love and all this shit. So this is the Pisces in love, and it says you and a Pisces woman, all this stuff. And then so one line shook me to the core. It says, more than any other woman in the zodiac, Pisces will change herself to fit the image that her partner wants.
I'm so sad because that's so true. It's so sad, but it's so true. Both Kira and I are Pisces, so we be struggling. We be hurting out here. I struggle, no, definitely. Because sometimes to the point where Pisces will, since we're fish and it's a mutable sign, which means we go with the flow. Mm-hmm. He will straight up, and I always like to use this analogy of water takes the shape of whatever container you put it in, right? Put water in this little mason jar right here, or that's a pasta jar, my bad. It's a pasta jar. Like, if you put it in your tea mug, it's a mug. Like, it will really just form and take place, and it will adapt to do whatever it needs to do. So yeah, Pisces will end up changing themselves for their partners. Fortunately and unfortunately, because we're always going to be the ones like, well, if you like something, like we can go try it. Like, you're always going to be up for the shits, but like you might lose yourself in the process.
Yeah, well, I guess what was crazy to me, like part of what the epiphany was that, so I knew that I was like adaptable, and I knew that I was good with change. Like that's what I always used to say. I used to be like, I'm good with change. People would be like, oh, are you nervous to move to a new country for school? And I'd be like, not really, like I'm good with change, whatever. And I didn't realize that we're literally the most mutable sign, A, and what that really means. And that means like we are just so changeable in the way that like I realized that I didn't even know how I felt about a situation until it was over, which is terrifying.
No, yeah, that happens to me all the time, and it's probably the reason why I've ended the majority of my friendships. Like I told you before, when we like talked the first time, I was like, yeah, girl, I just don't know my friends. Like, because my sister and I will say this all the time, because her chart ruler is Pisces and so is mine. And so is my sister's. And I'm pretty sure yours is too, because Scorpio, your rising Scorpio is ruled by Mars. So you got to go to your Mars placement. And your Mars is in Pisces, making it your chart ruler. And so basically, oh my God, no, I lost my train of thought. I'm so sorry. Remind me again. My mercury.
You were saying, because I was talking about how I didn't even know until it was over.
Oh, yes. My sister and I were saying it takes 2 to 3 days, 2 to 3 business days for us to process events.
LOL.
I'm so serious. Like, and then people will be like, why didn't you bring, they'll be like, you never bring things up when they happen. Girl, I didn't even know it was bad. I didn't even know. I was mad about it. I had to really ask myself, am I mad about this, or am I just having a bad day? Or somebody's energy influencing me to make me not like what's happening right now? So it's like, I'm sorry, there's a lot of stuff to work through. I'm like a sponge. I soak up everything around me. So I can't just like, it takes a second. Just give me not a second. Give me like literally 2 days to think about it.
No, exactly. But like, I realized that there were so many things, like in various relationships and situations, that I endured at the time, thinking, oh, they're right, I need to do this, or oh yeah, they're right, I am not enough in this certain way, or I did do this, or blah blah blah, or just like really letting myself be a doormat, like just laying down and being like, oh, you
so funny because I feel like when people look at us or like people talk to us, they're like, there's no effing way that these girls are doormats. There's no way. No way. They're so strong. They speak their mind. They'll cuss you out at any time. They're always going to be right there. The second we fall in love, it's like, oh my God, I take a nap.
You need I'll be your door. Do you need a door? I'll be your doormat.
I can be a doormat. What's this?
I can be the best doormat.
I'm like, y'all want to see my impression? Watch this. Hold on. I just be laying down. I lay down. I'm like, it's fine. It's fine. I'm like, you need a pillow? I got you. I got you.
The fact that I literally was standing in my kitchen yesterday, just thinking about my relationship and being like, I cannot believe that who was that who let that happen, or like,
right.
It's like, because that wasn't me.
Right. Me. Yeah. Or it's actually, I saw this thing, right? And it said, the you think you are is the you had to be. And I was like, it's really just a collection of experiences that you morphed in and called your personality. So that's why when your personality shifts and people will be like, you changed up. No, the situation changed. So I had to change who I was again in order to, and you have to be who you had to be, right, in the situation. And since already being malleable signs is like not going to help that at all, because it's just like, Pisces will do anything to move towards pleasure and away from pain. We'll do anything. Like, and you're like, if you want something at the time, Pisces ain't gonna drop it. They're just gonna be like, I'm right here. I want it. It's like a Leo. They're like, hey, pay attention to me. I'm gonna do anything to get your attention. Remember when I told you that I was like, oh, what's the wildest thing when we were talking about race before? What's the wildest thing a guy's ever said to me? And he was like, I would be in love with you if you were white. Girl, he said it to me and I laughed. Me today, I would never laugh. I would slap him.
Literally.
With a pistol. I would slap him. But like, no, like back then I was like, oh my God, you're so funny. Like, but I was crying on the inside, but like, literally I was like, oh my God, doormat.
Yes.
Doormat.
That literal line, the more than any other woman in the zodiac, Pisces will change herself to fit the image that her partner wants. That was a wake-up call, but also like an epiphany of, okay, so I now know that I can't remain my fully expanded, complete, and authentic self in a relationship necessarily. So that means that I have to plan ahead. And that means that I have to protect myself. I have to take the responsibility to protect myself from those situations. And it's like, because otherwise, when I'm in them, I'm just going to get taken advantage of, because I literally just will. Yeah.
Anybody with very strong Pisces placements in their personal planets, this is going to apply to. So this is going to apply, especially if you have Venus in Pisces, because that's your relationships. That's what you attract in your everyday life. Those are the people you attract, and the opportunities you attract in is your Venus. Your Mars, like any of your personal planets, like your Pisces placement is just gonna, I'm sorry. And I've got a Pisces stellium. So it's rough in these streets. It's rough in these streets.
It is. And the thing is though too, is like, it just kind of got me wondering if it's even possible for, like, honestly, like, not to be dramatic, but this is
okay. We're dramatic here. It's okay.
Like, is it even really possible for like in our, you know, patriarchal society, la-di-da, is it even really possible for a woman to remain her complete and whole, expanded, authentic self in a relationship with a man in this society?
I'm just gonna smile.
Right?
I'm just gonna smile because the answer is probably no. I don't think, but a lot of times, so like I've noticed, and just like a lot of like, because I have never dated a person, and it's because of the fact that I know I will completely lose myself in that person. I will do anything to make that person happy. I will literally like, my son is sextile, my Juno, baby. I exude wife energy. I will make sure you never leave me. I will do anything. You feeling bored? You need me to switch it up? I got wigs. Relax. You will get a new girl tomorrow. I will do anything. So I'm like, no, I can't. Until I have my jobs sorted, my bank account sorted, my house situation sorted. One, because I don't want to live with people. I don't like sharing my space. I really don't like that. I really don't. Don't be in my bathroom. That's weird. Like I literally, it has to be like an actual requirement that me and my husband can't share a bathroom. I don't even know if I want to live with him. I'm so serious. We can live in a condo and knock the walls out in the backyard. But like, I think you should have your own space, and I think I should have my own space.
Yeah.
I don't want your little ugly design skills to conflict with mine. I don't want it. I don't want it. So we'll have to work that out if we ever cross that bridge. But literally, like, it's just, I just don't think, I don't really, especially for Pisces, I really don't think it's super possible. I saw this scene on YouTube of Little Women, because I didn't watch Little Women with Timothy Chalamet and Saoirse Ronan. I was like, I don't know if this is going to make me happy or make me sad and make me realize there's a difference between white femininity and women of color's femininity. Because she was like, I'm so sick of being told that being loved is all a woman is good for. And I was like, what were Black and brown women doing in that day, Miss Saoirse Ronan? What were they doing in that day? Because I'm pretty sure love was a luxury to women of color back in that day. It wasn't, work was all they had. Yeah. Women of color had to work. There was no love for an option. Like if that ever happened, that's great, that's fine. But she had the privilege, you know, go off and be a writer, go off and leave her family, all this kind of stuff, and then come back and try to find love after. And so there's this scene where, like, after she had rejected Timothy Chalamet's character, and he moved on and married her sister, and which was kind of like,
that was always weird.
And she came back and she was like, I think I do love him. But she realized, basically, like the scene in the attic when she was talking to, like, I think it was her mom, and she was like, I think I turned him down too fast. She was like, really? Her mom was like, really? Like, why do you say that? She's like, I don't know. Like, I think it could have worked. And she was like, but do you love him? And she's like, I think I turned him down too fast. She was like, but do you love him? And she was like, I think I'm more concerned with being loved. And she's like, I'm just so lonely. And I was like, girl, see what happened? You went off, had your dreams, had your education, found out who you were, and then you got lonely. And you were trying to come, and she never wanted to be married, and she knew it. She was trying to come back and change herself just so she wouldn't be alone. I was like, disrespectful. So no, I don't think women can really, I don't think in general you could be in a relationship without compromising a part of yourself.
Did you know that she ends up married?
To whom?
Not Timothy Chalamet, a different guy. She does end up married.
Interesting.
Yeah.
She just didn't want to be alone. She did not want to be married. She was like me. She wanted to live.
She turned down in the beginning of the movie. He's cute and it seems nice, but it's like, that was a weird landing. I don't know. But yeah, I don't really know if it's possible. Here's what I think. I think, especially for us, right? Like as Pisces, we would need to be very advanced in like boundary setting.
Yeah, very advanced.
Very, very advanced. Like, I think this would take, like, I don't know, fucking 7 to 10 years, honestly.
Mm-hmm. That's why I think I'll have to look at your birth chart to see what placements you have again. But there are certain markers of later marriage and later relationships in life. And in every chart I've had, they're like, as much as it's going to kill you, your best relationships will come later in life, as much as it's going to hurt. And I was like, no, because I see like everybody dating, you know, I'm like, dang, like, I'm like social Rona too, like, I want to be loved though. I want to be loved. Like, I don't necessarily like, I want to be desired kind of thing.
Yeah.
And this is going to go for water placements in general and your rising Scorpio, which is water placement. So it's going to happen for Cancer Venuses, Cancer Mars, major water placements in your big three. We become doormats in relationships, unfortunately. We're also very emotionally manipulative when we've realized that our boundaries are screwed up. One of two things is going to happen. One, we're going to run, or two, we're going to emotionally manipulate the people around us. Or we're going to set the boundary and lose everybody because they're like, you switched up.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like, I think we would have to be really advanced, but any woman I think would have to be very skilled at like boundary setting and not, not permitting other people to take up your space, which is very, very much the opposite of everything we've been taught as women to do.
Also, in order to really like learn about yourself, like, you know how like the quote, like, know thyself, like, it's very true. It's very true. Know thyself, because it's like, you got to know your trauma. You got to know what makes you tick. You got to know what your triggers are. You have to know everything about yourself before you step foot into that relationship. Because I guarantee you, you fall in love or you meet somebody, they're going to lift up a part. They're going to show you a piece of clothing you didn't even know you had. They're going to go into your closet and be like, I don't know, I had that shirt. I don't like that shirt. Put that shirt back. You're like, no, put it on. You're like, stop it.
Literally.
I don't want to put that shirt on. And you're like, why? You're like, it's so cute. It's just some trauma. You're like, stop. So in order to like it's about people really need to look in their charts at their Chiron placements and what house it's in. So your Chiron is like your rooted healer. It is your biggest trauma in your chart. And we both have it in Scorpio, which is like personal relationships, which is like sexual blockages. And so it's just very like intimacy. Oof, what is that? It's like, ooh, relax. That's terrifying kind of thing. And then like when you actually let somebody in and they disappoint you, you're devastated. Like you're absolutely devastated. So it's like, and then you shut down again. Then you literally just go. Whoop. So really got to look at your Chiron, because it's going to reach you for filth, unfortunately. And you have to know, it's going to be very helpful to know what time you're born, place you're born, because the sign your Chiron's in and the house it's in is very important. Because you could have a Chiron in Scorpio, but it could be in a different house. So like my Chiron in Scorpio is in my third house. So I'm going to have sexual blockages and communication blockages. So it's like, because the third house is like house of communication.
Yeah.
Gemini.
But it's like, in addition to that, like of what the woman would need to be able to do, it's like the man would also need to be really advanced.
Oh, very, very.
In a way that is like super not their nature, because the man's nature is to take and to invade and to conquer and to all this shit and to take up space that isn't theirs to take. And it's like, this happened to me like both emotionally and literally like in my space. It's just like, what? Okay, so what is just mine? Like something needs to be mine and I need to be able to be fully expanded. But it's like the nature of men in the society is to take up the space of women, and they're uncomfortable when women take up space as well, but like they naturally do it. They don't even know when they're doing it. Like they think it's theirs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, how is any woman, like, I just, show me a woman that is completely expanded in her relationship. I want to see and I want to talk to her. Like I need to talk to her.
And then show me your birth chart and show me your man's.
Yeah, all that.
Your partners, because.
And I'm not saying that I don't think a woman could be happy in a relationship. What I'm saying is, I think she's probably still compromising. And I know that at the same time, relationships are compromised, but I think she's probably compromising some of her like really basic needs, or like really like needs that she are so innate to her. Do you know what I mean? Because that's what I was doing. And I didn't even realize I was doing it, because in this situation, I'm mutable. I am water. I am mold to my container.
But I also feel like a lot of times relationships get taught as compromise. Like they get taught as like, you have to compromise. And I've always asked myself, and I have a moon in Aquarius. You girl, you know, I don't like authority figures. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I got an Aquarius stellium and a Pisces stellium. So you really don't know which girl you're gonna get. You're either gonna get the warhead part of me, or like the musical crybaby part of me. And I've always asked myself, why do we have to compromise? Why? And the more I look into my astrology chart, I'm like, why? Literally, why? Why can't two people be together, be married, and live in different homes? I don't understand why relationships, like you, right? It's supposed to be two people coming together. It's 1 + 1, 2. It equals two people, right? So you're supposed to be whole before you get to that person. Why does that suddenly new pairing have to result in a deduction of space?
Yeah.
I need my space. I got an Aquarius moon. I got an Aquarius Uranus. I just a whole Aquarius 5th house, 6th house stellium. And I love to have fun and I love to be around people, but I have to have my space, my independence, my freedom. And it's literally written everywhere in my birth chart. It's like, you're really loving to people, but it's like, you need to disappear for like 10 days. And I'm like, yeah, I do. I really do need to disappear. And I just like can't be like, and I feel like if people are always like, oh, right, like I can't, like I'll just get so claustrophobic about it. I'll be like, you're so close to me. You're so close to me. Why are we? Oh my gosh, I understand. Like, do we have to share a bed? Do we have to share a bathroom? Like, do we have? Like, I love you. I genuinely love you so much, but it's like, I think we can be together, like in the same house, but like also have separate rooms.
Yeah.
Separate, like, places. I just don't think becoming in a relationship, I feel like, I don't know, like I feel like the way, especially the way they've taught relationships to children, it's like you have to compromise. You have to, they're like happy wife, happy life. And I'm like, let's examine that. Let's examine that sentence. Like, what does that mean? Does that mean you're just gonna shove all of your issues down that you have just for the sake of keeping the peace?
Yeah.
No, that's bad boundary setting. That is bad boundary setting.
Spider just creating a web, it is down right beside, like it came all.
I love how you just grabbed that girl's web.
I did. She came to say hi, and I was like, bro, I'm trying to.
Oh, she's freaking out. She said she's got me by my ass.
I said, park where they go for like the swing rides.
Like, whoa, no, please put me down. Like, no. Oh, she was stressed. She was stressed. She was stressed.
It was rude.
Damn. Do spiders follow you a lot? I feel like they follow rising Scorpio. They follow. Billie Eilish has a Mars in Pisces, just like you.
I knew that actually. You told me that.
Mm-hmm. Maybe Mars, like maybe spiders. Do you like see like because I see crows all the time. I don't really see crows. No matter where I go, I see crows.
I don't really see crows. I do see spiders.
A lot. You see spiders a lot. So they could be like, I think everybody's got like a animal of protection or like insect or something.
They don't really bother me.
Oh wow, that's crazy. I see spiders. I'm like, damn, that's crazy. You pick my house. That's crazy. I'm so sorry. If it's not big enough to get outside, like if it's not like if I can't get it outside, it's clipped. It's I'm so sorry.
Yeah. I might kill it or I might just let it live. Like it really just depends. They don't really bother me that much. But anyways, oh my gosh. Yeah, so the other thing that was really great about this, because it's literally got like how to attract a Pisces. And
pretty easy. It's pretty easy to attract a Pisces, but it also depends on like the rest of your chart. Like it's pretty easy.
Don't tell anyone. Right. But okay, yeah, it said always greet them with a compliment about their appearance or social presence, or remember to repeat a flattering comment someone else made about them. Pisces soaks up flattery like the Sahara soaks up water. And I read that and I was like, yeah, like that is just like so basic to my needs. But when I was trying to explain that in my relationship, no comprende. Like it's like I'm asking for you to move a mountain and I'm like, is it that hard to call me pretty? Am I not pretty enough to call me pretty more than one? Like
I'm telling you, Aquarius placement. I'm telling you, Aquarius placements are the withholders. So they're the water bearers, right? So like Aquarius placements, if you're listening, you could be in love with an Aquarius for like 3 years and you could count on your hand how many times they have said I love you or complimented you. They are withholders of words of affirmation. I do not know why, but I've met every single person I know with like a massive Aquarius placement just holds it in. They're like, I mean, like, I guess, They are not impressed. They are not impressed.
Exactly. Never, anyway, but that is so crazy to me because it's like to just withhold something like that is so easy to give, costs nothing, is free, and somebody else so clearly needs. It's like, and that is why, like, this is now honestly like my Bible, because it's like, if I'm not getting this, the stars say I need,
yeah,
and it is so hard for you to give it to me, I have to go. Like, I'm gone. I have to go.
You should try to date a Taurus. You should.
A Taurus? I heard it was Scorpio.
Your Juno is in Libra. You like Libras. Oh gosh, I'm so sorry. I don't like Libra men. I'm not a fan of them. Like I do like them, but it's kind of a is. So your Juno is like your the traits of your perfect partner is your Juno. So Libra? Yeah, yours is in Libra. So you're gonna like Libras. Like you're gonna like air sign. You're gonna like funny, pretty people. That's what you're gonna like. People who like luxury, pretty things, funny things. Like you're gonna like Libras. You're gonna like them. So if you ever meet a Libra, text me and I'll run their birth chart real quick. Okay. With yours.
My mom's a Libra, but I've never
dated. Libra men are tricky. They are so tricky. Libra men are the type to literally disappear on you. I mean, if they have not like, evolved and done the work they need to do, they will straight up disappear. Like you never knew them. They will switch up because it's the whole air signs compartmentalizing kind of thing. Like you never knew them. I mean, girl, they'll be like, what's wrong? They're like, nothing. What are you like? They will become an alien. Like they'll literally just be like, devoid, like they'll become a void, a shell, and just they'll be there, but they will not be there.
Hold on a second. So this is for all. Is this for all Libras?
I find it more with Libra men than Libra women. Okay. Like the Libra is the masculine side of Venus, and Taurus is the feminine side of Venus. So they're ruled by Venus, like Libras. But for whatever reason, Libra men, like they will literally just be a shell of themselves around you if they're uncomfortable and they don't want to talk about it, because in their minds they've talked about it. In their minds they've discussed it. They've run the play, they've run the scenario 1,000 times. And so they feel like it's a done deal in their heads, but they're not going to talk to you about it. They're just going to hold it in. Especially that I have a Mars in Libra. And that's like a bad placement. It's just like not great. Like we said, it takes 2 to 3 business days, one for Pisces to even process them. And it takes like 6 business days for Libras to process it. And they're going to never stop processing it. And they're just going to be like, okay, they're in their heads all the time. They're in their heads. So like, I love a moon in Libra. It's my favorite moon placement. And I just love them, but like, they're very difficult when they want to be. They're very difficult.
Yeah. No, it says for Pisces and Libra.
Mutables, but they're not mutable. They're a cardinal sign, but like they're dualistic. But.
Okay. It says that, it does say the luxury and lovely home, all that shit. But it says physical rapport isn't enough for the long term, but as long as it lasts, this is likely to be fun. So it kind of says like it's not going to last a long time, like you said, like disappear. But it says for Pisces, the best signs are Cancer.
Mm-hmm. I love Cancer.
And it says Scorpio. Where's the Scorpio one?
Mm-hmm. Scorpio says
Pisces finds its match here and then some.
Scorpios, because they match your intensity. Because people are like, oh, Pisces are so cute, they're crybabies. Girl, I'm intense. Yeah. I never met another Pisces that wasn't intense. Yeah. No, all intense. Think about it. Water. Think about how you can't put out water, right? Let's think about fire and water, right? People are like, fire. Water can put out fire. You cannot put out water. It just moves around and changes form. Mm-hmm. It never dies. Water never dies. It just never. It's like a wave. It's the ocean. Comes in, comes out. Sometimes it really comes in, and sometimes it really comes back out. But like it's a wave. Honestly, I'm not supposed to like this sign, but I am obsessed with Leos. I love Leos so much because I love people who are super confident and know it. Like, they're like, I'm good and I know it. So like if you catch me with a Leo sun, Libra moon, like I would be like, I knew it. I love them. Like, I just love them because they're just I do like how they're going to be attention whores. They are. But like, that's okay, because I can give that to you. I can give that to you. But those are also going to be the people who compliment you a lot.
Right.
So Leos, I think Leos, Libras, Tauruses, Pisces, and Cancers are like very similar people, like that group. And those also happen to be like my favorite kinds of signs. They're people that are like really willing to give and love. Okay, no, I'm taking Libras out of that equation. Taking Libras out. Everybody else, like Cancer, Leo, Taurus, Pisces, they're all very willing to give. And they're all very willing to like kind of like really get lost. They're grandiose in their ideals of love. They like nice things, like, but in terms of like love and Venus placements, those are kind of the doormats of the zodiac. Somebody with a Leo Venus, think about grand romantic gestures. Like they will do anything. You are starring in a soap opera with someone who has a Leo Venus. You're like the supporting main character though. Like it will be kind of about them, but they're very much gonna like grand gestures, like flowers. They're gonna buy you like they're just gonna be like, let's do that. It's very exciting, very grand. Cancer Venus is like, I love you so much. I baked you cookies. Like here, I decorated the house for you. I made you like your bubble bath. Like it's just really sweet stuff. Taurus Venus is like it's like, you know, when a sloth is hugging a tree.
Yeah.
That's a Taurus Venus. They're just gonna hold you. Just gonna hold you, and they might build you some stuff. They're gonna like really just be like, oh, like physical touch to me is a Taurus Venus. And a Pisces Venus is going to do anything. Anything. Think of Noah from the Notebook. He will do anything. Will do anything. And I mean anything to get you. Anything. Anything. And it's sad. It's grandiose. It's kind of like a Leo Venus, but like more intense. So really look at your Venus placement, especially when you want to, like, especially as women, because that's what you attract. It's not only who you like and how you want to be loved, but it's the opportunities you attract in your life. It's continuously like the things that over and over and over again. You got to look at the house it's in too. I have a Venus in Pisces in the 7th house. So, and it's I have a ton of places there. That's where my stellium is. And a stellium is a concentration of 3 or more planets in the same sign or in the same house. And stelliums can be tricky because they can be in 2 different houses and 2 different signs. I have 2 stelliums in my chart. I have one in my 5th and 6th house of Capricorn and Aquarius, and then I have one in my 7th house of Pisces. And it's just a concentration of energy in those sections. And so my Pisces concentration in the 7th house makes my life like just deal with relationships. And unfortunately, Pisces placements attract a lot of broken people, attract a lot of people that need fixing because Pisces think they can fix anything. And its 7th house is ruled by Libra. So it's Libras are oftentimes like people that need fixing, and Pisces are like, oh my God, let me help you.
Yeah.
So like you might just got to look at like all of that stuff, and you got to look at the degree it's in. My degree is in the 8th house. My degree is in 8. It's in the 8th degree, which is a Scorpio degree. Because all degrees match up with the sign. So you like gotta like really like you gotta look at everything. Definitely look at your Venus placements because it's gonna show you how you want to be loved and what you need in a relationship and what you need in order to feel secure.
I didn't even know. Can you find that on CoStar or no?
You can, but CoStar is like their house calculation and like all their stuff is off. Your Venus is in Capricorn because I just did your chart. I'm telling you, time passages is where it's at. Let me see. Your Venus is in Capricorn in the 23rd degree, which is an Aquarius degree. And yours is in the 3rd house.
I'm trying to see if I can find that.
You're such a good writer. I bet you're such a good writer.
Okay, hold on. Yeah, it's just like I am just like learning about this stuff, but I know it's so much.
You have Venus. It is. You have Venus in the 3rd house in Capricorn.
What does that mean?
Words of affirmation. Like you love words of affirmation, like literally. So the 3rd house is the house of like communication. It's ruled by Gemini, and Gemini is ruled by Mercury, which is communication.
Okay.
And your Venus is in Capricorn. So you want like tangible things that you can like feel and hear. Like you want words of affirmation. Like communication is so important to you. You're gonna want to talk your partner's ear off. You're gonna want to talk, chat, and like really know what's in their brain. Like you want to talk about like the second you probably meet a person, you're gonna be like, So, how do you feel about the capitalist structure of Canada? Tell me everything you think about the history of genocide in our country, please.
Yeah,
Really know. Like, and if they're really smart, like you only like smart people.
for
You
sure.
only like witty people. You're gonna like people who are like stable and communicative.
Yes.
I struggle with my words, but Mercury and Pisces, sorry. But you're really gonna like people who are one gonna show you love through talking to you. They're gonna be like, they're gonna constantly build you up. They're gonna constantly be like, Kira, like you're so great. No, you should do this. You should do that. You should do that. Like if somebody is a negative talker, cut them out of your life. It's going to screw with you. It is going to absolutely mess you up. Like if somebody like negs you, if they undercut you, if they Victoria Justice you, I think we all sing, nah, cut them out. Cut them out. Cut them out. Cut them out. That's it. That's it. And it's in the degree of Aquarius. You're so mental. It's all in your head. Like you want someone to create a really safe haven in your mental space for you in order for you to feel loved.
But what I think gets tricky, and I think is why like books like this are useful to go back to, is sometimes what presents as stability and communication is not that.
So the funny thing is Pisces and the 12th house is ruled by Pisces. So Pisces are ruled by Neptune. Neptune and the 12th house in Pisces. I hate to say it, Pisces, we're delusional. We are delusional. We are delusional people. We love illusions. We love making stuff up. And people are like, oh, I hate Pisces. Like, there's so much Pisces Mercury slander. There's so much on like TikTok and the internet. People hate Pisces Mercuries. And it's because we're good liars. We are literally the world's best liars. You want to know why? Because we believe it. It's not even a lie to us. That's why we're so good at it. We're just like, no, like, no, that's not a lie. It's true. But like, we know what's, you know what I mean? Like, we're just very good liars. And so Neptune is all about illusion, enchantment, and disillusion. So like, we're going to think and we're going to build up somebody and we're like, no, they're like this. And then one day they're going to turn around and do something that didn't fit into our narrative of who they were. And we're going to be like, whoa, that wasn't in my fairy tale chapter. That wasn't, and I don't like it. But then it's going to take you, like we said before, 4 business days to process it.
Oh,
but
yeah.
by that time, they're going to do something else. It's going to be like, huh? And people are like, I hate Pisces, da, 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 da. Want to know why? We're receipt keepers. We keep tabs. And I know people hate this about me. I find it to be very useful. I keep tabs. And I say, okay, I didn't like that. And I didn't know if I didn't like it, but I thought about it, and I don't like that, so I'm going to put that back here. And something else happens. You're like, maybe it's just a one-time thing, though. Something else happens, and you're like, okay, I'm going to put that back here. Okay.
Put it in my back pocket.
Am I bugging? Am I bugging? Is it me? Like, is it me? Did I do something?
Sure.
And then you do it again, and you're like, no. Oh, it's you.
No,
and
that really is.
I thought you were, and now it's not aligning with what I want to do with my life. But the thing about Pisces, in addition to being mutable, people project. We're like a blank screen. Like people project onto us. And since we're just like, I mean, I guess I could do that. Like I could. It's not really what I do, but like, yeah, I could do that. They project onto you. And they get used to taking advantage of you. They get used to the dynamic of you being the doormat. Yes. And so the second you stand up and say, I don't like that, and I don't like you, they're like, you're a horrible person. How dare you switch up on me?
Yep.
I can't believe you. And they gaslight everything you're talking about. They gaslight, they gatekeep. They're like, nope. They're like, you're nuts. And Pisces are like, am I nuts? I know I'm a liar, but am I nuts? I'm like, is it me? But then you're like, no, like you have to snatch yourself back down to reality. And you're like, no, it's not me. Like, it is me because I probably should have said something, but I didn't know I was going to say anything because it took a minute. It just takes a minute. And so people like, one, being in a relationship with the Pisces is going to be a difficult thing because we're not the easiest people to deal with. We're literally a culmination of all of the zodiac signs, which means you could get an Aries from me today. You could get Leo tomorrow. You could get Libra on Wednesday. It's going to be whatever I feel like giving you is what you're going to get. And it's very hard for other people to deal with. That's why I think Pisces struggle the most in relationships, particularly with Pisces men, because the Pisces woman will, or like Pisces feminine people, will do the work to look inside and seek out astrology. Most people who are into astrology are like Pisces, you know, water signs, and Leos who like to hear about themselves.
Yeah, it's look like you're gonna be hard pressed to find a Pisces who doesn't believe in this shit.
Hard pressed. Yeah. Hard pressed. And if they don't believe in it, they've got some major Sagittarius and Capricorn skepticism placements. Major. But people generally love to hear about themselves. Every time I go to like a family function or a party, someone's like, I hear you like read birth charts. I hear you. Can you read my birth chart? Can you? And I sat at my like the 4th of July thing the other day, like when we like just get together. And I just read everyone's birth chart one by one. And everybody's like, oh my God, I can't believe it. Like, it's so accurate. And the most accurate part of people's charts is normally their Chiron. And I'm like, I hate to break this to you, but you've been cut off from the collective from being different, have you? And they're like, oh. I'm like, I'm sorry, you've been cut off. Like, and it's made you mad your whole life. And they're like, no, oh my God. Like, I'm saying you have to look at your Chiron, you got to look at your Venus. Also look at your emotional personality, your moon sign. Look at it. Mine is a moon in the 5th house and Aquarius in the 1st degree of Aries. I'm not crying. Don't cry in front of me, please. I'm not going to hand you a tissue box. I'm going to stand there with my arms folded because I'm extremely uncomfortable. Unless I love you. Okay, unless I'm very much in love with you, then I'll hold you. But like,
what is for that? Because like
yours is Capricorn, so you might be similar. Like, so Capricorn, Venus, Capricorn moons, a Taurus moon, maybe not a Taurus moon, a Capricorn moon and Aquarius moon are dead gonna look at people crying in front of them. They're gonna be like, are you done? Are you done? Like, tears tend to piss us off. Because I also think, because I know it's very possible for people to weaponize their tears, and we're BS detectors. So it's like, I know when you're being manipulative. I know when this is actually genuine. And half the time when people are crying, I'm like, you're not even crying about this. You're not crying about the accident. You're crying about something that happened like 8 days ago in your life. It's not aligning. And so it pisses me off when people cry in front of me. I'm just like, no, I don't believe it. It's cat.
I feel that, because for me, it's like, I will get pissed if because for me, a lot of the times that I've experienced someone crying in front of me is after I have expressed to them something that they did that hurt me. And then they start crying and being like, well, I'm not good enough, I'm doing my best. I'm like, actually, I told you exactly what you could do to respect my boundary on this, and you didn't do it.
Exactly.
And now you're crying about how you're not good enough. I literally,
not my problem. Not my problem.
I don't have sympathy for that. I'm like, you didn't do the work, and now you're crying.
Yeah. And
then you failed the test, and now you're crying that you failed the test. Go fuck yourself.
Our emotional personalities are ruled by Saturn. We thinking. We just like, does everyone not analyze and compartmentalize their emotions? This happens for air moons, and like a lot of air moons too. Like a Gemini moon's gonna be like, what'd you say? Sorry, I wasn't listening. That's literally what a Gemini moon is gonna be like, what was that? No, sorry, I was off my world. Like, especially a Capricorn and Aquarius moon, then you're like, I have sat here and analyzed every angle this conversation is going to go. I've sat and analyzed my emotions, your emotions, where you've come from, where I've come from, and I'm expressing it to you plain as day, and in layman's terms, as simple as I can put it. This is where you messed up, and this is what you can do to fix it.
Yep.
And people hate being called out. They hate it, and they're like, oh my God, like, so you're saying I'm bad, but like, look at what you did back. We're not talking about what I did. I'm telling you what I didn't like, what you did. If you wanted to bring that up another time, then that can be a completely different conversation. But right now we're addressing this.
Exactly what you're saying right now. The amount of times I've said exactly what you just said.
I'm just like, we're talking about this right now. If you wanted to bring that up, you could have got your own mic and did your own thing. You're not going to steal my stage. You're not going to come here and take my mic when I had to express my
thing. And then start crying about something that you didn't do.
I'm like, why are you crying? It makes me want to slap people. As a kid, I used to slap anybody who cried in front of me. It was so bad. I'm like, and I'm a very emotional person. Like, but as soon as somebody, like, I'm so emotional, I will really cry. But I hate crying in public. I hate it. But if somebody cries in front of me, like, I know Miss Charlie D'Amelio is, the world's biggest like TikTok star. There was a video that came across on Instagram of her crying on her live, and I got mad. Like, I got mad. I was like, why is she crying on the internet? I was literally like, are you kidding me? Save that for a home. Like, what is wrong with you people? Like, I was like, it made me it physically. I was like, I didn't even know what she was crying about, but I was like, why is she crying? I was like, I was like, am I heartless? No, like, no, I'm not. Like, I'm so empathetic, but it's like, I hate tears. I can't.
That's funny. It's
Unless
not
it's like little kids, because I'm like, okay, you yell, cry. I remember crying about everything. It's like,
I don't like hate tears in general, but it's like you said, like the BS detector and like the what, like I don't have sympathy for self-pity tears in the midst of somebody being called out, and that's mostly when I experience it. Is
Mhm.
it I'm really upset about something. I come to you, I initiate this conversation. The topic is what I'm upset about. And then we end up dealing with your emotions because I'm trying to comfort you now because you just can't take responsibility for your actions. And now
Yeah.
we're talking about how you feel bad and how I made you feel bad because I said that you're upsetting.
Oh my God, this is so funny. So like, I basically, remember I told you, I was like, yeah, like I dropped my friend.
Yeah.
Remember I told them the person that like I mainly dropped, because the other people just kind of like went away with it. That I mainly dropped because they're like, they basically, everybody yelled at me. They're like, you're the one, you're causing a rift. You're causing a rift. Because I was like, you're like, this person had just basically been like not a good friend.
Yeah.
Not a, like, just not like, I'm the type of person to jump over oceans. When I tell you to go and jump over a puddle,
Yeah.
I was like, the energy's not being reciprocated. It's just simply not. And like, she was very belittling, very much like, I'm better than you and you need to accept it kind of thing. And we had been friends for a very long time. So I kind of, it was just the dynamic we had developed. And then after a while, like something had happened like on my birthday and I was like, that's it. I'm done. I'm just done. I'm not even going to address it. Like, I'm just going to go away because it's not, because I'm only going to address something if I honestly think someone is capable of change.
Yeah.
I'm only gonna talk to you if I genuinely think you're capable of change. If I do not think you're capable of change, you will not hear from me. They're gonna be like, what happened? I'll be like, you need to do that work yourself. I've already done the digging. I know what happened. I'm not gonna take some more emotional time to come here and talk about you and let your emotions get in the way. I'm done. I'm completely done with that. So like she would text me, she would hit me up. She was like, I just feel like you should talk about this. Da, 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 da. Like she asked me, she was like, should we get a mediator? I had a visceral reaction. I was like, what? I was like, can you not? Again, I was like, are you seriously not going to be able to stand up for yourself and properly articulate your points without somebody without a backup?
Is that why she wanted a mediator? Because she thought she couldn't defend herself?
I don't even know why she was like, should we get a mediator? I was like, oh, no, no, we're not getting some effing mediator. So you can have people who like be on your side. I was like, no, we're not going to have some mediator because I genuinely hate when people speak over me, put their hands in my face and say, oh, you're done talking. I'm not done talking. I'm not done. Absolutely not. No, I don't like authoritative figures. I don't like it. No. So I was like, no, we can't have that. So I literally wrote out all the points of why I was mad because, the tabs. I put the tabs on a literal note. I was like, this. I sent it. As soon as I sent it, she starts typing. I was like, why are you typing? You didn't read it. Why are you typing? I was like, immediately responds. Immediately. I was like, there's no way you could have read all of that.
Yeah.
And processed it and thought about it before you started typing. No way. So she immediately goes in defense mode, right? She's like, oh, well, like this. And if you had just brought it up, and if you had done this, and if you had done, just very much pointing, there's no accountability. And just like she's like, honestly, like I acknowledge my intent. Like you should know my intentions are better than this, but I acknowledge the fact that I'm sorry you feel that way kind of apology. Like,
Nobody cares about her intentions. Like,
nobody cares. I got called out on TikTok for making a bad video, and I was like, oh, my bad, y'all. Like, my bad. Obviously, I didn't intend for it to come across like that. But it's like remember my gym teacher said to me, because he got hit with the ball in the face by some kid in class. He's like, you guys say you're sorry to me all the time, but you can't unbreak my glasses. A sorry is not going to unbreak my glasses and unbruise my nose. Yeah. So stop throwing the ball around. And they're like, okay, sorry, Mr. Norm. And we're like, you got to change the behavior. Yeah. And then the whole time I knew, and I literally sat there, and in my mind, obviously Aquarius moon, like Capricorn moon, I was like, I know exactly what she's going to say. Mm-hmm. We're observers. We're going to see. I know exactly how you move. I know how you move. I know what you're going to do. And she did exactly what I thought she was going to do. She didn't think about it. She just sat there and immediately reacted. She just reacted. She didn't think. She just typed and typed and typed and tried to get her point across. I was like, it's like when someone raises their hand in the middle of you talking. You're like, you're not listening to me. You're thinking about what you're going to say. You're not listening. And I was like, okay. And then my literal complaint was that you don't listen to me. And she's like, I was like, you don't listen. You don't take. I was like, I don't think you're capable of listening. And she's like, that's not true. I listen all the time. I was like, oh my God, like you're literally like, I was like, okay. So she basically did the whole thing and but tried to shift and turn. I was like, I'm sorry. What's that Nicki Minaj quote? You can't outdo the doer. I was like, babes, you can't me, emotionally manipulated Pisces stellium. I know all the cards, girl. I'm meant to the deck. Please don't even try it. Don't even try it. And so the whole thing, and then I just like stopped responding because at that point, it's been discussed in my mind. I've gone through the scenario. I've done it. I knew you weren't gonna be capable of change. I knew you weren't. And again, the Pisces still get the rep of like, oh my God, you guys never, it's not worth it anymore. It's not worth it. She's like, you've made me feel really bad about myself. You've made the friendship like where you caused a rift. We should have talked about this. I didn't talk to you about it because I didn't think anything was going to change. I feel like people are like, oh my God, why didn't you tell me? Or like, why didn't you this? Like they always put the onus on the other person. And it's like, why didn't you create a space safe enough for me to inform you of something? I clearly don't feel comfortable enough with you. I clearly don't trust you. So it's like, ask yourself why I don't trust you if we're comfortable enough sharing with you. But like bringing it back to like astrology, her chart was a chart of self-serving emotions. Like, I don't know, like how to say that. Very impulsive emotions and very self-serving. So it just lacked perspective. Her chart literally lacked perspective of others. And my chart is just perspective of others. Yeah. So it's going to be something that like, and just because you're super compatible on paper does not mean it's going to line up. Yeah. Because we were so compatible as friends on paper, but like we kept running into the same issue. And so it's like, y'all really got to get your chart and get the charts of other people in your lives. Because you're going to eventually, I love knowing what makes people tick. I love it. So you got to look at everybody's stuff and you got like, I mean, astrology is a lot of work. It's a lot of.
Yeah, but I think it's worth it. Like even just, I'm really just getting into it right now. And it's like actual very valuable, practical knowledge for like how you yourself should be moving through the world. And it's like, I now have like a very different perspective on, like you were saying, like the fixer and the shit like that. Like I feel like I always see the opportunity in things and in people, and like I always see the potential, and I always want to protect that potential, and I always want to create space and be available for the potential good that I see. But in creating all of that space, when I'm banking on potential, I'm gonna be disappointed a lot of the time. I'm making myself so available to be disappointed by these situations because I'm like, oh yeah, like it could be this, but it's like it could be that. It's actually probably gonna be this, and you know that, but you're trying to see this other thing.
Yeah. Like I literally, there's a guy in college. Yeah. And I was like, he was always himself. Like he was always just like, and I was so in love with this guy, right? And like, I was like, you could be so great. Yes. The keyword was could, because in the moment, like in the time that I had known him, he hadn't switched up. He hadn't done anything that was like out of the ordinary of his baseline behavior. But like, I had like crafted these expectations, and like who he was basically wasn't good enough for me, and I just couldn't accept it. But I was like, if we just try, if I just
all the
time, if I just try to mold you into being more like something that you aren't, maybe this could work. But it's like, no, girl, it just couldn't work, period.
And maybe it's like we didn't work. Yeah, maybe it's like we think because we are so mutable that other people will be, but that's not true. And it's just like, I am no longer going to make room for people that I think could become somebody that's good for me, like in any kind of relationship. and it's like either you're there or you're not. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to help you get there. I'm not going to pretend that you are somewhere that you're not. It's like either you know, fulfill my needs and allow me to be my fully expanded self, or you don't.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not doing this like in between, permitting you to be a bad friend, bad partner, whatever. I can't do that anymore.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So I started watching, this is like a side note that also has to do with astrology, but it's a side note from the relationship topic. I started watching Too Hot to Handle on Netflix. And I only started watching season 2. So I started watching this with my sister, and I was like, and you know, like on the show, you can't have any sexual contact. And if you do, the prize fund that you were promised in the beginning gets deducted with every kiss, every fondle, every sexual interaction. It gets deducted. And I was sitting there, and they keep losing money. Like, these people have not gone a day without losing money. And I was sitting there, and I was thinking to myself, no one in here is an earth sign. I was like, no way. I was like, I need to find the charts of these people, because there's no way. I was like, if you put 10 earth signs in a room, ain't nobody dropping a bag. Ain't nobody losing money. Ain't nobody losing money. And so I was like, I was like, these people, it was just like all Aries, impulsive energy. I was like, wow, fire and air. I was like, it has to be. I was like, there's no way. I was like, it just looks like a tornado. I was like, no. So I had to go and find the charts of these people. And so I went, and I was like, I literally like sat up this morning, like before I got on this call, and I was like, there's no way these people are earth signs. There's no way. And I was looking at all of their charts, and there were no earth signs in the bunch. And there were 2 earth signs, right? And so one kid got sent home. He was an earth sign. He got sent home for not making as much sexual contact as everybody else. And then this other girl who was an earth sign, I was like, a Taurus? Hell no. You are the most like a Leo, but let me look at it. I was like, I need to see the rest of her chart. So I basically did like a mock chart of her, because I don't have a birth time. And Venus, since your rising sign changes every hour to 2 hours, but the other planets stay for like a day or two, depending on like what earth sign they stay, depending on what the constellations and how fast these planets move. But the Venus and your Mars and all that stuff doesn't move as fast as your rising sign. So I looked at this girl who was a Taurus, and I was like, there's no way she's just a Taurus. There's no way she has all that. I was like, no. Looked in her chart. She's got a Mercury and a Venus in Aries. I was like, there it is. I was like, there's no way you're going to be that emotionally reckless and not have something crazy in your chart. And she was attracted to the other Aries guy. And he was emotionally reckless and like all this kind of stuff. And this other kid who was a Libra was with an Aries girl. There was a Sag girl. And then the 2 water signs, the only 2 water signs in the bunch, the Pisces and the Scorpio paired off together. The only 2 water signs in the bunch. And they were the only 2 that followed the rules. They were the only 2 that followed the rules. Everyone else, and I mean everyone else, was either an Aquarius, a Libra, a Gemini, or an Aries. All of them. It was just air and fire. And I was like, this is the recipe for disaster. I was like, they had to pick these people's astrological charts, because all of them had these extreme visceral attractions to their partners. It was like this, I can't not be attracted to these people. And a lot of times that has to do with extremely strong Mars placements and extremely strong Pluto placements in people. So if someone's sun has a really harsh aspect to another person's Pluto, and it's in like a very tight orbit, like 5 degrees, you're going to be like, Pluto is the dark planet of like obsession and like compulsion. Like, it's just very like, it's the dark, it's like you're like, it's the stalker in you, to be honest. Like, and so if your planet is in like a really tight orb with that person's Pluto, like, you're going to be so drawn, you're going to be wanting up in their business. Also, like the house placements, I was like, these people probably have so much 8th and 12th house synastry, because synastry is like when you take 2 charts and you put them on top of each other, and like you get the planet, your personal planets like intersecting, like, say, like we're both Pisces, so our suns would be conjunct because they're literally like right on top of each other. So like we're understanding in that kind of way. But like I was like 8th house synastry, so like if my sun is in a person's 8th house, or like my sun, my Venus is in a person's 8th house, they're gonna be like all up in my business. They're gonna be like, what are you doing? What are you? And like me with like 12th house, I love Leos, but they're my 12th house, which is like, It could either be like, it's a coin flip. It's either going to be great or horrible. And I was like, there's no way. I was like, I think these people did astrology to cast this show, because if, I'm telling you, you put water and earth signs in there, they're going to follow the rules, because they're like, we're going to get money at the end of this, and we're going to be emotionally connected. But fire signs and air signs are the runners. They don't like to form super close emotional attachments. They just want to do like what makes them feel good. And so all they did was like put like a whole mix together and said, and then one Pisces, and then one Pisces. They're like, we know the Pisces is going to go along with everything. So like, just put them in there, but no Capricorns. Not a single person was a Capricorn. I was like, I knew it, because a Capricorn would never fumble the bag. Never. And I was like, and think about it. So in US presidents, Ronald Reagan's wife, Nancy, had an astrologer with them 24/7.
Wow, I heard that actually.
He would only make him do things, because Nancy was running the show. She would only like allow things to happen if it was like a good astrological day. And I swear Elon Musk also uses astrology, because every time something positive happens, it's like the planets are perfectly aligned for him. And it's like, Elon, I think you got an astrologer on deck. Sure. I think you have an astrologer on deck. Same thing with like football teams and all these people. I swear they have
an astrologer on deck. Like,
me too. But the only thing I think is getting, once I started reading the personal planets of everything, now I'm like slowly moving into like the planets around me. Because I was like, if the moon can move my period and the ocean, I feel like the other planets can be in cahoots.
Yeah.
Affect the rest of us. I was like, think about that. If the moon can literally pull water, what makes you think? What's Pluto up to? What's Saturn doing? What's everybody up to up there? Like, if the planets can affect us, I was like, no, that's definitely a thing. Every time there's been a pandemic, like a global pandemic in history, the black plague.
Oh, okay.
Every time there has been a plague, there has been two planets that have been like squaring each other every time. And so like, I don't know, like I have to find like the article, but it's like there has been the same conjunction or same aspect in these two planets every single time. And it happens every like once in 100 years. So like 100 years from now, there will probably be another plague with these planets like conjunct each other. Like, it's actually so wild. Like, if you look at the days, like Kobe Bryant died in a void of course. And a void of course is like, so the moon moves in phases, right? But there's like this 1 day period or a couple hour period where the moon is kind of just wandering. She's like just preparing to go to her next phase.
Yeah.
It's like she's taking a bathroom break. And she's just kind of like chilling, void of course, or whatever. But like the moon is like not in the sky, basically. It's like literally, she just kind of goes away for a hot sec. Like she's literally like, it's in between phases. It's like the moon is literally homeless for a hot sec. And when that happens, it's like, it's not a good day to travel. And he traveled. And like I also saw this really weird thing about how somebody had done Kobe Bryant's birth chart. And they had said he needs to watch out for like his 41st year of life. Like they need to watch out. And they had written the article like 3 years before he passed. And I was like, what? I'll have to send it to you, because like they had done the numerology of his name, because numerology is also a really big thing. And they had done his birth chart, and they were like, yeah, he's gotta watch for like this other thing. And this other woman on TikTok who her son had passed, she saw it in her birth chart. She's like, oh no. She's like, basically, she's like, my kids need to stay away from cars. Like, and her kid had passed in a car crash. Like, and she's like, it was in my chart. Like, yeah, I saw it. And I was like, what? I was like, what? Like, are you kidding me? So they're like,
in your chart.
She was a really good astrologer. So like, I don't
like way too advanced for like.
Because it was the way the planets were intersecting with her transits. Because everybody has transits in their personal chart, and then there's transits in the sky, and whichever way. So like, when people could be like, oh, Mercury's in retrograde. This is so bad. If somebody has a lot of planets in retrograde and Mercury's in retrograde, nothing's going to happen to them. They feel fine. They feel normal. They were born in retrograde. They're like, oh, it's home. We're here. But if somebody is like, it's just very, you got to look at your personal like transits. It's like, so I'm starting to like get into like more of that and like the transits of like my personal planets and then the transits of the sky, because it really does affect everything.
Yeah,
So
sounds like definitely something I'm gonna look into after I do all like what's in here. I mean, maybe that stuff is in here. I don't know. Does that still fall under astrology?
yes.
Okay,
So
well,
natal transits.
I'll ever need.
It'll probably really, that's a super thick book. So it'll probably get into like natal transits, and there's also like house perfection years. Was I the person who told you nobody likes you when you're 23?
Wait, what? What?
I, so basically, no one likes you when you're 23.
Why?
It's because you're in a 12th house perfection year. And so the 12th house is about hidden enemies. It's the house of Pisces. So it's about hidden enemies, delusion, and all of this stuff. So you're rising Scorpio. So let me look at your 12th house.
Wait, are you saying nobody likes anybody when they're 23, or nobody likes me specifically when I'm 23?
No, nobody likes you when you're 23. I remember I had talked to my cousin and I was like, oh, you're 23 right now? Because we're the same age. Yeah. And this was like, you know, he's a little younger because he's a late birthday. And I was like, so you lose all your friends yet? And he was like, yes. Yes, I did lose my friends. I was like, yeah, because no one likes you when you're 23. It's your 12th house perfection year. So if we pop up and find out that your ex is a rising Libra.
Say that again.
If we pop up and find out that your ex is actually a rising Libra, I'll be like, ah.
Like, why?
Because Libra is your 12th house. So like Libra, Scorpio, Libra, Virgo.
Oh, okay.
So your 11th house would be your friends, which is like Virgos. And then like your 12th house is like Libra, Scorpio.
So people aren't going to like me this year?
No, you just might have people within those. You're just your relationships tend to take a turn for the worse when you're 23.
Well,
and I remember my relationships right before my 24th birthday, or like the day after, boom, gone. Yeah. So it just happens when you're 23 because it's your 12th house perfection year. And then your first year when you're 24, you kind of just like start over again because it's your first house perfection year. Yeah. So,
okay.
yeah, like, now I have like no friends. But and so I'm just like, yeah, like I'm here. So I hang out with no, I have like some friends, but like the friends I have, like we don't see each other a lot, or like they live in like different places, or like they're like from college, but like we don't always like hang out together. Like we'll see each other like every once in a while. But yeah, like I don't have like bestie boos, but I'm used to like having a person like being like my best friend. Like I don't.
Yeah.
And it was after like 23. Boom. Wow. Like so 24 is like a reset button. Instagram like
interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So
like
my reset button is happening right now, or like it's in the midst.
You are having the everything's coming to an end moment.
Okay. Yeah.
And then 24 will be like it's like it's about you. It's about just you at 24, like your first house. So it'll be like you and your Scorpio rising will like be taken on the world, but you also have to look at like your personal transits and the planet transits that are happening. But trust me, 23 is hard. It's a very hard year for people. And I remember I was talking to a woman who was like 28 and she's like, yeah, 23 sucked.
Yeah.
She's like 23 was just, and 23 was when I was in the global pandemic. It was a literal 23 for whatever reason, just.
I think 23 is like, it's just a different, you do kind of enter a different phase of life. Cause like 21, 22, like you might still be in school, you might, whatever, you're probably still friends with maybe some of your high school friends and your college friends, all this stuff. And then 23 is like, if you were in that phase of life before that, then 23 is like the real world. So,
yeah. 23 is when all of the illusions of like school and life is kind of like broken. You're like, what do I do now? Like if you were in school, you're like, you're still like super young, but it's just like, you're like, oh, this feels adulting. This feels adultish. Like, ooh, like, okay. But no, it's really, astrology is so weird. It's like, and in your seventh house perfection years, that's when you tend to meet like really important relationships. So
Oh.
that happens when you're like 19. So like a lot of people like date at 19 because that's their seventh house perfection year. Your fifth house perfection year is like normally a really good year for entertainment or like your personal, like it's fun. Like it's just really fun. So like my fifth house perfection year, if I'm turning 24, 25 is second, 26, third, 27, fourth, 28. So if you catch me like popping off on stages and like literally ruling over the world at 28, right here. I told you so. Like I was like, I'm calling it 28. Like catch me at the Grammys. Just like
feels like a good year for me. I always have felt that 28 would be a good year for me. I don't know why. Like I always just felt that.
house perfection year.
Yeah, that's so crazy.
It's really, it is. That means like 30. I think it's 20. So if 28 is six, it was the fifth house. 29 is six, and 20 and 30 is your seventh house. So if you meet like your life partner at 30, it's your seventh house perfection year.
Wow.
A lot of people get married at 30 these days.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, well, just like to wrap up, if somebody is watching this right now and they're like just getting into astrology, and I know you said this a little bit before, but just say like what specific things they should look at that would help them like protect themselves, empower themselves in relationships.
Definitely download time passages or going like, yeah, just time passages. It'll let you do like your birth chart for free and it'll like tell you all of your personal aspects in your chart. If you wanna, time passages, yes, it's an app. If you want to get the pro version, it's only $30 for a one-time payment, which is honestly better than the rest of you paying monthly for like other apps. And you can pick your house calculations or everything. So download that, learn about yourself, then start looking up all the aspects in your chart and really look at your Chiron. Look super into your Chiron and like figure out your traumas. Just really just try to dive in, figure out your traumas and look at your emotional personality and really look at your Venus, especially if you're like always thinking about relationships and stuff. You have to look at your Venus, what house it's in, and the people around these Venuses, and just all that kind of stuff. So it's like really look at your own chart and analyze it and learn it. Start within and then go out, if that makes any sense. I have a Mercury in Pisces, so I don't make a lot of sense.
No, that makes sense. That makes
to
sense.
you, because you also have a Mercury in Pisces. But to people listening who are like, what did she say? Like, yeah, definitely download time passages, look at your Chiron, and just like kind of analyze your whole chart and get started there for yourself. And then start asking for your friends' charts, learn about what rising signs are. It also teaches you on the app, like what rising signs mean, what houses represent what the aspects mean, and all that kind of stuff. And then you can just go like more in depth and just keep going and keep going. It also lets you compare synastry charts when you get the pro version. So you can layer people's charts on top of each other and then it can tell you how compatible they are.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So like,
wow.
It's real intense, but also somebody who you might be super compatible with on paper might be just boring in real life, to be honest.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. And plug yourself, all of your socials.
Oh, yes. Follow me on TikTok, Nonnah.s, Instagram, and I'll get back into my YouTube stuff, but those two for now. Nonnah.s. That
will all be linked down below. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Kira Bria. Check out my Patreon. It will be linked down below. And subscribe to my podcast. Give it a 5-star rating. Subscribe, like, share, all the good stuff. And thank you so much for listening. And I will talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.